Okay, yeah, so just to say apologies. So I'm just going to continue. So I'm going to let Archangel Raphael come in and he'll just continue where he left off. Hmm. So, what I would like you to know is that it is very important to be aware of the agreements, contracts you have, to honour them, to know that you will be guided to do the right things on earth, to you will be guided. And when you have something karmic that needs resolving, comes to a subject, issue, something going on in the outer world, the way it is that there will be a sense that there is a very strategy for you there, something that you have to be a part of. And where you have a contract that is connected to serving a higher purpose on a level that is very much about bringing in more light from a much higher source, then the way you will feel it is that there will always be a sense in you that you have something to bring in, something to contribute, something that is very strong. And those of you who are very much in this energy will always be the sort of people who will, in one way or another, have a strong motivation to be involved in things on a grounded level. So it is good for you to know this, that this is a important part of the spiritual path, to find your purpose in terms of what you are here to do, but on a grounded level, so that you are able to fulfill contracts, clear karma, do the things that you are meant to do when it comes to the changes that are going on a global level. And this is a message for some of you, not all of you, because others here are more about doing inner work and only that, going deep into purification of their own being and becoming one with all that is, and supporting others to do the same. So, for some of you, this is your path. And for others, it is more than this. It is also to do other things. And the reason I'm saying all this right now is because this is the right time for those of you who have contracts to fulfill around changes in the world generally, to start actually going into further action. It is a time of change in the world. Change when it comes to many things, change when it comes to actually changing the way things are on a day to day level for people, changing things which affect many people's lives, even things that are the sorts of things that you consider more mundane, such as the way people are living, perhaps the structures they are living in. Perhaps your purpose is to actually create new sorts of living places for people which are in harmony with the oneness, which harmonize with the natural world. But I will say that it is the right time to bring in these sorts of changes, that people are looking for new ways of doing things. The world is changing, and those of you who are part of this are going to find that doors open for you. I will say one more thing, and that is all of you here are going to find that as you go forwards, you will become very clear about your purpose. You will know what you are meant to be doing. You will get more information about how. You don't need to know everything. You will find out for yourselves. And when you are on your path, and get involved with other people on their path unless you feel connection. Because what I will say is that as you stay on your path, you will feel that your needs are met. But if you start getting involved in people's path and it is not your path, after a while you will feel angry and perhaps even a bit like you would like to make changes on their path when actually it is not relevant for you to do so. So stay on your path. And in this way, you are able to focus on what is important and stay out of other people's lives. Let them do things their way because everyone will find their own path in their own way. And it is important to let go, to let people be who they are, to be in some way or another very detached, actually, and also detached about who stays and who is going to live. Because when you hold on to people, it creates a problem in itself. So it is a reminder to all of you. It is also good for you to know that nobody is really asking you be the sorts of people who are involved in everything in life. And this is also because if you are then not able to really do your purpose to the fullest extent. But I will also remind you that it is important to stay connected in some way to what is generally around, because in this way you are able to have a sense of being able to appreciate what others are doing, what is going on, and even at times benefit from what people are offering, even if what they are different to what you are doing and generally into. So it is good to generally be in one way or another connected in a way where you are able to actually bring in what you need at the right time, to perhaps have an appreciation of things without actually going into something that is not right for you. So it is a very fine balance. My final message is perhaps more interesting to you in this moment, and it is very much about actually the way the world is going and how it is going to affect you. And that is, it is very important to be aware that the world is not only changing, but it will actually have direct consequences to you and your lives. And what will happen is that people will start to feel more and more that something needs to change. And as a result, the way that you are currently living on a day to day basis will change. There will be a lot more focus actually on being there for each other in a grounded way and actually making things work in life in ways where people are able to come together on the earth and actually make their lives more self sufficient. So, being more in charge of their own lives, be less dependent on outer sources like governments, become the sort of people where they can survive without any external intervention. And this type of independence is actually going to create much more power in people, a sense of being empowered. And actually, from this place, they will be able to actually make sure that things that need to happen on earth do happen, that people have their needs met, that no one is excluded. So it will become less relevant to be concerned about what is going on a larger level when people are taking their lives into their own hands more. So, an example can be that there may be a lot going on in the healthcare system, and there may be a lot of cuts when it comes to spending there by the government, for example. As people take more responsibility for their collective health and well-being, people will actually need this much less, that people will look after each other, that they will have generally more resources between themselves, and they will share it with those who need it. Those who are most in need will be able to benefit from this. So there will be more things that exist that are completely independent of governments and larger bodies, where people are taking things into their own hands and finding new answers, finding new healing modalities. So, this is the way life will go. And this is just one example, but it will apply to many aspects of life, including food, where people who have a very low budget will be provided for by others who may have an abundance of what they are growing themselves. So people will start to look after each other more. There will be less need to actually rely on governments, larger institutions, and as a result, there will be more happiness, more satisfaction, a sense that actually you can help each other. You can help each other by really being in your power. And when many people are empowered, then the few people, perhaps not yet there, are taken care of automatically. They are no longer seen as a burden. So people who are unwell, people who are suffering a lot and cannot yet stand on their own feet, can easily be taken care of by many people who are empowered and strong and doing their purpose. So that is the way life is going generally. And you will find your place within this, whether it is to really focus on being independent when it comes to food, growing your own food, and also finding you have much more than you need. So being able to share it with people who need it, whether it is something else, perhaps connected to health on another level, when it comes to being really well on an emotional, psychological level, and finding that you have got a lot to offer here that you can then extend into the world in a way where people benefit, those who really need it, without them having to even meet you, perhaps. Perhaps you will find ways of doing this. So, this is an example. But this message is also very relevant for the moment because it is about ultimately becoming who you are, being empowered, and then as a result, have much more to share with the world, having more abundance that can be shared so everybody can be ultimately included and given what they need. I have no more to say. The week ahead will generally be a good one, a week where a lot can happen, but also a week where sometimes energies may get a bit heavy because there is so much going on collectively in the world. That is all. Yes, I'd just like to say thank you, everyone, for listening. And yeah, wishing you a really good week ahead, a good weekend, and lots of love to all of you.